Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my show. My name is Jason DeCosta, and this is Consistent Preterism. I'm just going to be doing a very quick teaching on why the fullness of the Gentiles absolutely 100% demands numerical fullness, and why it absolutely 100% was fulfilled by the coming of the Lord. This is extremely quick, extremely simple, and when you see it, the light bulb is going to go on in your head. So the fullness of the Gentiles coming in would result in all Israel being saved, said Paul in Romans 11:25. In order to fully grasp the fact that this was completed by the end and by the coming, one would have to just take a quick look at Revelation chapter 7. In Revelation chapter 7, we see the 12 tribes in the beginning are being sealed, and only they are being sealed with the Holy Spirit, nobody else. So the 12 tribes of Israel are receiving the sealing during the last days gospel commission. In verse 9, John looks and sees this great multitude from all nations standing clothed and redeemed in white, from all nations, tribes, tongues, and peoples. Now that would obviously include Gentiles, right? It has to. But notice the 12 tribes are not shown standing in heaven, only the great multitude is. Were the 12 tribes eliminated from the game? Did they not receive their inheritance? Were they not in heaven? Did only the great multitude from the nations receive that inheritance? Of course not. The great multitude from all nations is another way of saying the 144,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel, because of course they were scattered abroad. They were in all nations, Judea, Samaria, the ends of the world, and they were brought in by the coming of the Redeemer. But if you think about it, the great multitude from all nations, tribes, tongues, and kindreds had to be redeemed by the coming of the Lord. And why do I say that? Well, if you look at the end of Revelation 7, we are told where they came from. Revelation 7 says, the great multitude from all nations, tongues, and peoples came out from the last days great tribulation period. There is no future great tribulation period in the Bible. There's just none. The only one it speaks of is the last days great tribulation period upon Israel, as every full preterist would agree. And that great last days tribulation period ended at the coming of the Lord. But the great multitude from all nations, tribes, tongues, and peoples came out from that great tribulation and is shown standing in heaven, clothed and redeemed, as the 144,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel. Revelation 14 says only the 144,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel could learn the salvation song, showing clearly that redemption and salvation was only for Israel. But the point and the dagger of this audio is simply that Revelation 7 shows that the great multitude from all nations, all tribes, all tongues, all peoples, in other words, the fullness of the Gentiles that Paul speaks of in Romans 11, came out from the last days great tribulation period. They came out from that period, which means there are no more Gentiles coming out from that great last days tribulation period. The only way that that's possible is if there's a future last days great tribulation period that Gentiles would come out from. So again, this is very clear. This is an ironclad dagger point for you guys if you want to battle with the wannabes out there. The fullness of the Gentiles coming in, resulting in all Israel saved by the coming of Jacob's Redeemer in Romans 11:25-27, matches precisely with John saying that the great multitude from all nations, tribes, tongues, and kindreds, aka the fullness of the Gentiles, had to come in by the end because they came out from the great tribulation period. Hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. But we'll be back another day, another place, another time, and another rhyme. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.